Good morning. Now see about the third unit of software testing. This unit contains software testing techniques. This unit contains configuration testing, compatibility testing, foreign language testing, usability testing, testing the documentation, testing for software quality security, website testing. Now let's see about one by one. Now, first configuration testing. What is meant by configuration testing? What is meant by configuration testing? Configuration testing is a software testing technique in which the software application is tested with multiple combination of software and hardware in order to evaluate the functional requirements and find out optimal configurations under which the software applications works without any defects or flaws. A prerequisite for configuration testing for any project before starting with the configuration test, we have to follow some requests. First one, creation of matrix which consists of various combination of software and hardware configurations. Prioritizing the configuration as it's difficult to test all the configurations. Testing every configurations based on prioritizations. Next, objectives of configuration testing. The objectives of configuration testing is to validating the application to determine if it fulfills the configurability requirements. The second one, manually causing failure, which help in identifying the defects that are not efficiently found during testing. Determine on optimal configurations of the application under test. Fourth one, analyzing system efficiency based on the prioritization, how efficiently the tests were performed with the resource available to achieve the optimal system configuration. Verification of the system in a geographically distributed environment to verify how effectively the system performs, or verify how easily the bugs are reproducible irrespective of the configuration changes. Verifying how manageable the application item are throughout the software development lifecycle. Next, types of configuration testing. Uh, Software configuration testing, hardware configuration testing. First one, software configuration testing. Software configuration testing is testing the application under test with multiple operating system and different software updates, etc. Software configuration testing is very time consuming as it takes time to install and uninstall different softwares that is used for the testing. One of the approaches that is followed to the test software configuration is to test on virtual machines. Virtual machines is an environment that is installed on software and acts like a physical hardware, and the user will have the same feel as of the physical machines. Software configuration testing can typically begin when configurability requirements to be tested are specified, a test environment is ready, a testing team is well trained in configuration testing, build released is unit and integration test passed. Next one, hardware configuration testing. Hardware configuration testing is generally performed in labs where we find physical machines with different hardware attached to them. Whenever a build is released, the software has to be installed in all the physical machines where the hardware is attached, and the test suite has to be run on each machine to ensure that the application is working fine. Next, purpose of configuration testing. Configuration testing would mainly interact with the hardware and is effective than other software testing in fulfilling the application's configurable requirements. The defects which were not effectively found by different testing methods can be detected with the configuration testings. To verify the system distributed apart from the server are concerned and working effectively. Next one, compatibility test. Compatibility testing is non-functional testing. It is carried out to verify whether an application or software can run on different device, browser, operating system, hardware, or networks. Next one, categories of compatibility testing. Categories of compatibility testing: hardware compatibility testing, network compatibility testing, operating system compatibility testing, device compatibility, mobile compatibility testing, browser compatibility testing, software compatibility testing, and version compatibility testing. These are all the types of compatibility testing. First one, hardware compatibility testing. And this type of testing, developed application or software is tested on various hardware configuration to make sure it work on them in the desired manner. Network compatibility testing. In this type of testing, an application is checked on different networks such as Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, and etc. for various parameters such as bandwidth, speed, and etc. Next one, operating system control testing. An application software is tested by running it on different operating systems such as Windows, Mac-OS, and Linux, and etc. Next one, device compatibility testing. This is done to check applications compatibility with the various external devices such as Bluetooth, USB device, and printer, etc. Next one, mobile devices. An application is tested on various mobile devices with different operating systems such as Android, iOS, and Windows. Next, browser compatibility testing. A test on application working on various browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and etc. to make sure it is compatible with them. To know more about cross browsers testing, click here. Next one, software compatibility testing. An application compatibility is checked with other software. For example, if an application has a features that allows user to generate a PDF file, the user should be able to open this PDF file in Adobe Acrobat Reader. Next thing, version compatibility testing. An application is compatibility with this order is with this older and newer version is checked. It is further divided into types: backward compatibility testing and forward compatibility testings. Next thing, compatibility testing process. Compatibility testing requires thoughtful planning as requires set up multiple platforms, browsers, operating systems, device, network configurations, and hardware configurations. Before starting compatibility testing, a testing team needs to make sure the application is ready to test with the complete development of all the important features. Next one, advantage of compatibility testing. It is mainly aimed at giving a quality customer experience. If any customer is facing an issue due to the application's incompatibility, it may have negative impact on the customer. She or he might abandon the application or website. Next thing, compatibility testing tools, cross-browser testing, Cost Lab, Browser Star, Lambda testing, Ranorex. Compatibility testing can be done with both manual and automation testing. The following are some popular computer testing tools available in the market. First one, cross-browser testing. Cross-browser testing is produced by Smart Pure Company. The offer produced such as live testing, visual testing, automated testing on more than 2050 browsers. As Coast Lab. Coast Lab allows testing website on multiple browser on a mobile device simultaneously. Browser Stack, it is a cloud-based automated testing platform that allows users to test their application on more than 2000 real device and browsers. Next one, Lambda testing. The test supports more than 2,000 browsers on operating systems with product to perform automated testing, live testing, visual testing, and check responsiveness. As Ranorex, founded by Ranorex GmbH, Ranorex Studio is a graphical user interface test automation framework. It supports Selenium. Next thing, foreign language testing. Making the word and the pictures make sense. Translation issue, localization issue, conflict and the compatibility issues. First one, making the word and pictures making sense. Translation issue, the transitives like text expansions, ASCII, DBCS, and Unicode, hotkey and shortcuts, extended characters, computation on characters, or reading left to right and right to left, text on graphics, keeping the text out of the code. Third one, localizations. The localizations like content format, data format. Next, confusion and the control issues like foreign platform configurations and data compatibility. Next thing, making the word and picture make sense for the user who is not comfortable with the language the software is developed and the translation is not clear. Picture given the catalog should be explanatory. Next thing, usability testing. Usability testing, also known as user experience testing, is a testing method for measuring how easy and user-friendly a software application is. A small set of target end users use software applications to expose usability defects. Usability testing mainly focus on user ease of using applications, flexibility of applications to handle control and ability of applications to meet its objectives. Methods of usability testing have two techniques. First one, laboratory usability testing and remote usability testing. Laboratory usability testing, this testing is conducted in a separate lab room in presence of the observers. The testers are assigned tasks to execute. The role of the observers is to monitor the behavior of the testers and report the outcomes of testing. The observer remains silent during the course of testing. Next one, a remote usability testing. Under this testing, observers and testers are remotely located. Testers access the system under test remotely and the platform assigned tasks. Testers' voice, screen activity, testers' facial expressions are recorded by an automated software. Usability testing checklist. The primary goal the primary goal of this testing to find crucial usability problems before the product launch. First, start the UX testing during the early stages of design and development. Use a bandwidth strapper and assign a single observer to each test. Educate designer and developer that is this test outcomes is not a sign of failure, but it is a sign of improvement. Next, advantage of usability testing. As with anything in flight, usability testing has its merits and demerits. It adds look at them. It helps uncover usability issues before the product is marked. It helps improve end user satisfaction. It makes your systems highly effective and efficient. It helps gather true feedback from our target audience who actually use our system during a usability test. We don't need to rely on opinion from random peoples. Next thing, phase of usability testings. Next thing, phase of usability testing. Planning, reporting, execution, data analysis, and reporting. This is the phase of usability testing. First one, planning. This stage is the first stage in software testing. The planning stage is when the objective of the project is defined. The documentation of the project is done in the planning stages. Next, recruiting. In this phase, we recruit the facilitator and the participants according to the budget and the complexity of the project. Next one, executions. The participants perform usability testing and they perform the assigned task. Next one, data analysis. During the data analysis stage, the feedback received from the usability testing is analyzed. Results are categorized and patterns are identified. The conclusions is generated from the feedback submitted to improve the product and thereby improve the business. Next one, reporting. The feedback and the finding received are shared with the customers and the development teams across the projects. Discussion on the areas of improvement and its implementation is considered in this stage. Next thing, usability testing components. Usability testing components. First one, learnability, efficiency, memorability, and errors, and satisfactions. Next thing, testing the documentations. Testing the documentation. Test documentation is document in which the goal, procedures, and the result of testing uh, various aspects of product are outlined. Of course, some companies argue that a test documentation is an optional process that only adds cost to development and works more for the image of the software company than for providing real value. Okay. Main goals of test documents make testing transparent, improves the team communications, analyze and improve the testing, meet deadlines and budgets, capture our own experience, prove the series of the development approaches. This is the main goal of testing documentations. Make testing attachments. Test document shows all aspects of testing from goal setting to test methods and results. Improving team communications. Communication errors are significantly reduced when a team has a single source of information on any process. Even if everyone understands the situations differently, there is always something to reference and discuss. Analyze and improve the testing. Only when you have fixed approaches to testing can you analyze them for effectiveness or compliance with standards. Then we can document whether the changes in approach has resulted in measurable increase in efficiency or vice versa. Meet deadline and budgets. When testing is properly documented, the risk of unexpected problem is dramatically reduced. It means that the cost of solving them also become much lower. Let's capture our own experience. Well done. That test documentation is a capture of a real development experience based on which you can do a lot of value things. We can use it to train new team members, find and share best practice, recent discussions on media platforms, and so much more. Explore the seriousness of the development approaches. Good test documentation is an excellent demonstrations of how seriously you take our serious service and applications securities. Next, different types of test documentations. There are a lot of test documentations and they can meet a wide variety of standards. It all depends on the particular company, product, and the customer. However, there are general types of test documentations that are almost always used, and conventional categorizations of them into which exists for the internal use and presentations. Internal test documentations, test policy, test strategy, test plan, test scenario, and test cases and test logs. This is the types of test documentations. Internal test documentations, they are required for work task and for use by the development and testing team members. It contains the goals, methods, and results of testing at technical level and sometimes requires a technical background to understand them fully. Test policy. It is a document that outcome outlines the company rules which must be adhered to when performing testings. Test strategy, it is a document that outlines the main aspects of testing and a particular or to be what levels of the project will perform. During testing, developers, designers, and managers can return to this document at any time to ensure that the testing is still within original strategy and allocated area. Test plan. It is documented that details all major aspects of the testing projects, such as the scope, approach, resource, schedule, testing members, and their activities. Next, the test scenario. It is document that defines the testing process from its beginning to its end for a specific part of the product. And a desire it describe a number of test cases dependent on each other of testing. Next, test cases. It is documented that describe exactly how a particular part of the product is tested, such as its logic, function, interface, elements, and etc. Next, test data. It is documented that describe the data needed for testing to bring the application's performance closer to real world use. Next, test logs. It is documented with different test cases for a particular type of test to be performed during the test. Next, traceable matrix. Traceable matrix. It is a table that contains various test cases with their requirements and execution status. It is used to track requirements and their compliance throughout the software development life cycles, which can be used to track the process from design to coding and vice versa regarding each types of testing. Next thing, testing for software security. Testing for software security. Security testing is a part of software testing. It mainly focus on looking for any possible leaks or loopholes in the systems. Some of the loopholes give away the entire system, which may cause some problem for both customers and the business. Information theft is one of the major battle being fought in the world today. The theft or the loss of information has capability to bring down the entire business. Security testing ensure to offer a thick wall between the introduce and the company in a professional way. As the objective of security testing. Next thing, objective testing. Security testing finds bugs or errors in the system, which mainly allows intruders to trap or steal data. Data stealing costs a lot for most of the organization must do and straightforward activity resolve all the problem and restrains illegal attempts to a significant extent. Every testing activity is performed to take out or figure out some of the small and crucial bugs in the systems. Security testing is Security testing in software testing is one of the mandatory activities to keep applications secure. Now, various processes are being used to complete the process. Therefore, it is essential to understand some of the commonly followed procedures and the ultimate device of security testing. Next, common steps to follow in security testing: identify bugs or threats in the application, calculate the crucial and potential vulnerabilities, detection of possible security risk in the application, finds a way to help fix errors for the developer with the help of coding. Next, types of security testing. First one, vulnerable scanning, security scanning, penetration testing, risk assessment, security auditing, ethical hacking, post assessment. These are the testing. Next, the approach of security testing. First one, architecture and study analysis, classify threats, test planning, test tools identifications, test case executions, and reports. Next is security testing technique. Security testing techniques, access to applications, data protections, brute force attack, SQL injection and XWS, service access points, and session management, error handling, and specific risk functionalities. Specific risk functionality. Okay. Now, access to applications. Whether it is desktop applications or website, access security is implemented by roles and rights management. Data protections, there are three types of aspects of data security. The first one is that the user can view or utilize only the data which is supposed to use. This is also ensure roles and rights. Next, brute force attack. Brute force attack mostly done by some software tools. The concept is that by using a valid user ID, the software attempts to guesses the associated password by trying to log in again and again. Next thing, session management. A web session is sequence of HTTP request and response transactions linked to the same users. Error handling, check for error codes, check for stock traces. Specific risk functionalities, mainly the two risk functionalities are payments and file uploads. These functionalities should be tested very well. For file uploads, you need to primarily test if any unwanted or malicious file upload is restricted. Next thing, next thing, website testing. Website testing is an umbrella term for process which test website and other software application for unwanted defects and issues across a broad range of devices. It includes functionality, usability, accessibility, and performance testing. Web testing checklist, functionality testing, usability testing, interface testing, compatibility testing, performance testing, security testings. First one, website testing techniques. Website testing techniques, functionality testing of a website, usability testing. Okay, now functionality testing of a website. Functionality testing of your website is a process and that includes Several testing parameters like user interface, APIs, database testing, security testing, client and server testing, and basic website functionalities. Next, usability testing. Usability testing has now become a vital part of any web-based project. It can be carried out by testers like a small focus group or similar to the target audience of the web applications. Next one, interface testing. The three areas to be tested here are application, web, and database service. Application, the requests are sent correctly to the database and output at the client side is displayed correctly. Web server, the web server is handling all application requests without any service denial. Database server makes sure queries sent to the database give expected result. Test system response when connection between the three layers cannot be established and the appropriate message is shown to the end users. Next, database testing. Database testing is one critical component of our web application, and stress must be led to test is thoroughly. Testing activities will include test if any errors are shown while executing queries. Data integrity is maintained while creating, updating, deleting the data in databases. Check response time of queries and fine tune them if necessary. Test data retrieved from our database is shown accurately in our web applications. Next one, compatibility testing. Compatibility tests ensure that our web application display correctly across different devices. Browser compatibility test, same website in different browsers will display differently. We need to test if our web application is being displayed correctly across browsers, JavaScript, Ajax, and authentication is working fine. Next, performance testing. And this will ensure our site work under all loads. Software test activities will include but not limited to website applications response times at different connection at different connection speeds. Load test web application to determine its behavior under normal and peak loads. Stress test our website to determine its breakpoint when pushed to beyond normal loads at peak time. Test if a crash occur due to peak load. How does the site recover from such an event? Next, security testing. Security testing is vital for e-commerce website that stores sensitive customer information like credit card. Testing activities will include test unauthorized across to ensure pages should not be permitted. Restricted files should not be downloaded without appropriate access. Checks sessions are automatically killed after prolonged user inactivity. On use of SSL certificate, website should redirect to encrypted SSL pages. Next, cloud testing. We will select a large number of people to execute tests which otherwise would have been executed a select group of people in the company. Crowdsourced testing is an interesting and upcoming concept and helps unravel many unnoticed defects.